Greetings, dreamers. I am the aforementioned Reverend Isaac Sylvan, aggregate of the ecliptic and extant member of the eternal continuum of peace, love, and truth. I am here at the behest of a close friend who has asked that I read to you her story. It is a tale of enigmas, wrapped in fantasies. It is firmly rooted in ageless traditions of the imagination. But what it ultimately means will be for you to decide. Though I may offer a few ideas of my own here and there, as it is within my purview to do so. I do hope you took the time to listen to the foreword I wrote, as it does contain secrets that you may find useful along the way. I thought that before we took our first steps together and committed to a leap of faith, as it were, that will invariably plunge us headfirst into the depths of the infinite, that I should preface this tome with some reflections of my own. The very ones the author asked me to pen, in honor of the completion of her life's work. So, thank you for humoring me. When I am not prognosticating or translating the language of symbols into words, I am an illustrator and a painter. The images you will be experiencing with each chapter are all my doing. It is my greatest wish that you enjoy them and that they complement and clarify the narrative as it unfolds. So, please, make yourselves comfortable and open your minds to the journey upon which we are about to embark. We will be sailing across a sea of dreams, both strange and familiar. Though I will be reading it, at times you may hear her voice in the words, as well as the voices of many others. Listen to the sound of the distant, buried drum. It's like the heartbeat of the universe, keeping time. You may call me a fool. I wouldn't argue with you. So, shall we turn the page? The Summer Shard.
There are mysteries to be found in both the darkness and the light. We are obsessed with duality. We see everything with two eyes. We struggle within, always doubting, always questioning. Wading through the silver stream cleanses us of doubt, purging us of the impurity as we return to the source and the void from whence we sprang. Many angels sacrificed their halos to travel here. Henceforth, she will speak in my stead, at least until I feel like chiming in again.
Chapter 1. Larkspur. Awaken the Maiden. I am a figment of your imagination. I am writing this to get your attention. I want to let you know that I love you. I am here to save you from yourself. You knew me a long time ago. It has been what seems like forever since we sat down together and just looked into each other's eyes. Although you have not seen me, I have always been here, waiting for you to come around. I feared you might let me pass away into memory, so I did subtle little things to remind you of me. I knew you would notice them because you always look for the signs in life. Your father is here beside me in the driver's seat. We are swiftly traveling now towards our final destination. I know what is coming. It is necessary, but that doesn't make it any easier. We have shared a profound experience. Our partnership has been a blessed one, a blossoming union. What we have promised to nurture together is our greatest joy. Our child is about to be born. Are you there? Can you hear me? I've come to realize what I am. I know why I'm here and what I have been waiting for. We all write our own stories to leave behind, in the hopes that they will inspire those who come after us. By knowing and loving others, we will inevitably feel and cause pain. It is a reminder of the greatness of love. This is my symbolic oath to you. I choose to feel the pain. I accept it and welcome it with open arms. I knew you would be a moonbeam, born in the same month as my mother Sophia, whose ruby heirloom I wear on the third finger of my writing hand. I have with me the crimson blanket she made for our little mystery. She said it was imbued with protective powers and a sigil to ward off evil. I want it to be the first thing that touches our baby's perfectly soft skin. We have been trying to find you a proper name, but have yet to discover it. There is great power in a name. It is more than a simple utterance. It is a symbol for the person and who they will become. Perhaps you will bring it with you when you enter into this world. When the curtains go up and you finally take the stage, our shared dream will manifest, and our hearts shall spilleth over like a tender fountain. Ouch! My head hurts. I fell and bumped it on a stone in our garden a few days ago. The sun was a hammer that morning, beating little nails of sweat into the most uncomfortable of spots. I felt faint, then I passed out. My noggin still aches every now and then. I'm just glad the baby was okay. I'm lucky my sweetheart is a healer. Being a writer, a teller of tales, and singer of songs, I was outside seeking inspiration for the fable I have been writing when I saw a mouse scampering about between the lovely flowers my mother had planted. She was a wonderful gardener, my mother, who loved to feel the grass and dirt betwixt her toes. I tried my best to follow the mouse, and was reminded of another story wherein the protagonist finds herself being lured by an animal through the fictitious fabric that separates worlds and across the proverbial threshold to plummet into a wondrous adventure. That is when I felt faint, lost my balance, and hit my head. Curiosity had gotten the better of me. I've been trying so desperately not to be derivative, but when you've read as many stories as I have, you eventually realize how hard it is to come up with something original. Even if you base the narrative on your own personal experiences, there will still be a connection to all the rest of the tales that have ever been told. It is both frustrating and enlightening to perceive the synchronicity of stories so effortlessly. My sweetheart likes to paint, and has taken to illustrating my new stories for me. While I have considered naming our little moonbeam after one of my favorite characters from literature, my idealistic sweetheart thinks I should concoct a story about our unborn child, and whatever name emerges through our writings and paintings, that is what her name should be. I wish you could choose your own name, my sweet little figment. Can you hear me? I can feel you inside of me, squirming about. I wince when you stretch your tiny arms and legs. It hurts, but I am glad for the pain. As I said before, I accept it and welcome it. You are a piece of me, and I of you. this is how your true story begins. I am only here for a short time. My role is to usher you forth and to introduce you to everyone. The odd thing is, I feel as though I've done all of this before. I can almost remember writing these words to you so long ago. I am reminded of my mother telling me, "If it has happened once, it has happened many times before." I can hear the sweetest music in the distance, and within that music, there is a sound. It is a sound like no other. It has always been there. A sound of awakening. Looking out the car window, it's all so familiar. Hot asphalt and the odor of evaporation mix with the wavy illusions of melting people, smearing their glossy brows with glistening hands. A miserable, upset ice cream cone, a sticky chocolate frown, fire hydrants left uncorked and hosing full blast across empty alleyways, naked children playing, wet dogs panting with exhaustion, and overdressed people moving in awkwardly slow motion. It's like they are all mired in invisible tar, dripping like molasses off of the descending summer star on this, the 21st day following the solstice. I stop writing and am joining hands now with my sweetheart. We smile at one another euphorically, as if to raise glasses of ambrosia, toasting the fragility of life. It is a perfect moment. We are here to celebrate your imminent arrival. But now, the worrying sets in. What if you are born different? I won't love you any less, but it will present challenges. What if I'm not good enough to raise you through the tough times? What if I'm not even strong enough to bring you into this world? It is these feelings of dread and sorrow that draw out the bitter antagonist. Darkness inevitably comes. A silver overture is playing even now as the clouds part and Doom's herald careens down from the heavens like a red arrow. I am no longer in control. In fact, I never was. You are the hero of this story, and it is nearly time for me to exit and for you to make your dramatic entrance. Gradually, the puzzle comes together. We are past the point of no return. This is the cost of the journey. I am right back where I started. It all makes perfect sense now. An instant of crystal clarity hits me right between the eyes. At this point, I look up at the dashboard and notice there's a mouse in the car. Startled, my sweetheart misses the stop sign, slams on the brakes, and skids through a four-way intersection. We never even see the chariot of death coming.
I am so sorry, my little moonbeam. I wish that I did not have to leave you now. I know this will be hard for you to understand, but I must allow you to evolve into whoever it is you are destined to become. I cannot protect you from darkness in the manner I would wish to. I have to let you tumble so that you might learn to pick yourself back up. I had best stay out of your way, else I will be bulldozed by your individuated will, aching to burst forth from both the source and the void of time. You do not belong to me. You are beholden to the universe. In fact, you are the universe, expressing itself and seeking meaning through a new form of existence. You are the result of idyllic love, and therefore, love is your most abundant, sacred power. Share it like the sun distributes its warmth. You will have many questions, and you should find the answers, for you have only forgotten them. The wisdom of ages is within you. You must go forth and remember through new experiences. So, here you are, awakened unto this strange world, perfect in its imperfection. a work of art and song. You are trembling and afraid because you think you are all alone, but you are never truly alone. You have friends. You have family. They will always be with you. I have invited them to your birthday party to help me guide you. Each of them is a gift. They say, it takes a village to raise a child. I think you can learn much from all of them. Just like fables, most will arrive as animals. Each is a symbol and a lesson incarnate. I promise you that one day we will meet again. I eagerly await that day. But for now, I must step aside and let you narrate your own story. Take with you all of my love and the cherished heirloom upon the third finger of my writing hand, our ruby ring, Gleam. This is the uncommon life that has been bestowed upon you. Live it well. I leave you with the very best parts of me, of us.
Mother, I can't hear your voice anymore. Are you there? Can you hear me? Sound has changed. There is no echo anymore. Where am I? I am buoyant, as though I am floating on air. I was waiting for you. Where it was once comfortingly dark and warm, it is now harsh, bright, cold and terrifying. Is this what it means to be born? Mother, where are you? Without you, who am I? You never gave me a name. I still possess so much of you. Your memories, your heart, and your eloquence of speech are all mine now, but I do not fully understand them. I've never known anything for myself. I have no identity because I am bereft of experience. Callow sweetness is embittered by this sudden ejection into a vast wilderness, an ocean of uncertainty. Who will protect me? Who will teach me? What am I meant to do? Have you left anything behind? A gift, yes, my birthright. Where is it? That beautiful jewel which you wear on your finger. You said that someday I could have it. Is today that day? Does Gleam belong to me now? I promise I will take good care of it. Where has it gone? Aha! There it is. I see it, glinting from between the jaws of that tiny beast. Come back, thief! Bring me back my mother's ring. It belongs to me. You cannot have it. Blast! This light-footed rogue is too fast for me. I've lost the bandit in some high grass, but still I must give chase. I will reclaim what is mine. I run. I jump. I search frantically. I am beside myself, trying to recover what's lost. This ridiculous chase has gone on long enough. The sun is sinking behind the cloudy horizon. It feels like I've been hunting that little thief for hours. But what does time matter when you have nowhere to be? I notice someone behind the crowd of people congregating about this tragic scene. Look at that big fellow. He sticks out like a sore thumb. He's so conspicuous in his derby, scarf, and wrinkled trench coat. It's the middle of summer. And besides that, he is positively enormous. Aha! I just saw the tiny fur burglar leap into his pocket. I approached the massive fellow, standing in his shadow. I tug on his long coat and demand in my loudest voice, "Give me my mother's ring! It is in your pocket!" My mouth moves, but nothing comes out. I know that I'm saying it, but I utter not a sound. The large fellow turns and looks down at me. He has a furry face. In fact, he's furry all over. He's got sad, sleepily drooping eyes. The hairy little thief leaps out of his pocket with my glimmering jewel and places it in the hefty fellow's shaggy paw. Then, to my surprise, the hair-covered giant speaks to me in a deep, hushed voice.
Silence, child. I am a messenger. I was sent here to protect you and to guide you to a safe place, a fine sanctuary where you will be afforded time to learn and grow. The Dreamer has gathered you up and brought you here at your mother's behest. You must trust me.
My birthright. Give it back. It belongs to me. I snatch the ruby ring from his fuzzy paw and run away as fast as I can. I hear the furry giant shouting at me as I flee from the diminishing light of the setting sun. He says,
No! Come back! You're in grave danger so long as you carry that trinket. This isn't good. This isn't good at all. I must follow her.
He is some kind of saber-toothed bear. His coat and derby are tossed aside while his scarf remains tethered to his neck. He is shaking his mangy head from side to side as he chases me. Then his scarf comes undone and blows away with the wind. All around his nose, eyes, and mouth, his fur is lighter than the rest, so it looks like he's wearing a silly mask. He has a big round patch of discolored pelt on his chest and 4 unusually large canine teeth protruding from his slobbering lips. He has vicious claws that rake the ground as he runs, and he's making these awful wheezing and snorting noises. He is hot on my heels like a hunting hound. You can't catch me. You might as well just give up and go home. I can feel tears running down my face. I am angry, scared, and very confused, so I run as fast as I can into a dark forest on the other side of the road. The dog bear growls, and I can hear his gruff voice as though he is standing right beside me, yet he is still a significant distance behind.
You must calm down and stop running from me. Do not be afraid. I am your friend. You have to control your selfish emotions. Fear, anger, sadness, greed, arrogance. Each of these reactionary feelings is like a luminant beacon that will draw out the darkness that calls itself the light. It is searching for you right now. We must find a place to hide.
I have no idea what he is talking about. Then I notice my tears are floating beside me, rolling down my cheeks. They proceed to skip along the air and follow me. They take on the appearance of tiny silver fish, scintillating as they swim along. It is getting dark now. The moon is manifesting, seeping through the hazy sky. Then I hear it, a chilling voice that slithers into my ears and fills me with terror.
You cannot escape from your shadow. Did your mother never tell you that? She knew it all too well. You should stop running away and come help me row my boat gently down the silver stream back to our home.
The slithering voice slips away for the moment. It leaves me with a strangely familiar sensation. I shudder and shake it off, hoping it won't come back. Since I am brand new, with no real memories of my own yet, I assume it came from my mother. The forest is deepening and becoming murky. The further in I go, the more overgrown, yet also withered the underbrush becomes. I can still hear my panting pursuer trying to catch up with me.
You should not be alone out here. It's far too dangerous. Stop! I promised your mother that I would watch out for you, and you are making that very difficult right now.
Leave me alone, you slobbering beast! I don't need you to watch out for me. Besides, you are far too slow to be of any use.
Fine.
The dog bear says.
If you won't permit me to protect you, then I will lure the Dark Light's herald away from you, in the hopes that you will find your way. I cannot allow you to be captured. I swore an oath to your mother, and I intend to keep it.
The Bruin speaks to me in these odd riddles, and then, somehow, I can feel him leap without hesitation, right over a rocky outcropping. He goes tumbling clumsily through vines of dark ivy and sharp briars, breaking branches all the way down a hillside. I can see him caged in by thousands of thorns. I can feel his pain and suffering. Why would he do something so recklessly stupid?
If I can't go around, then I must go through.
The klutzy Ursid grunts, picking himself up from his self-imposed fall to try barreling through the imprisoning wreath of nettles with a voracious purpose.
Come and get me. I've been spoiling for a fight with you. Come on, let's settle it.
I realize that he isn't talking to me anymore. The slithering voice returns to reply.
Why do you struggle? Why do you volunteer to endure such pain? Why do you squirm so desperately to escape your fears? They're a part of you, so long as you remain here. Rejoin the silver stream, and there will be no more pain, no useless anguish. You will finally be free. I know your secret name, Magellan.
How dare you speak my secret name?
The livid Bruin snarls as the thorns delve deeper into his hide.
I shall not speak it again. I just wanted you to know that I know.
The voice squawks.
I can remember everything. In fact, I remember your name too, little one.
But how can you remember what I've not yet chosen? The sinister voice cackles.
Oh, you've chosen it. It only eludes you because you yearn for the quest to retrieve it. It's really quite obvious to the rest of us. You seek your suffering. It is familiar and comforting to you, like an old blanket. Eventually, though, inner turmoil manifests outside of us when we run out of room for it. This forest is a nexus of ferocious pain, amplified by your aura.
Then say it! Speak my name! Prove yourself true!
Ha!
The slithering voice scoffs at my demand.
Nope. I don't think I will. Not here, and not now. Besides, you don't really want me to tell you. Pursuit of the answer to the mystery is what you crave. I would not dream of denying you that.
Then I don't believe you.
You will, in time.
The vociferous voice gloats. The bear seems distracted from our exchange. He is transfixed on the surrounding wood. His eyes dart about the dark thicket. Somehow, I can sense that he is remembering.
I knew these woods as a cub.
The dog bear trembles, still trapped amongst the brambles.
There are no more bird songs, no trickling of running water, no emerald trees bristling with life. This forest is dying.
His heart fills with sorrow. I can feel the sad beast shed a single tear that falls into the dry dirt. Abruptly, the tired ground begins to gurgle and grumble, like an upset stomach. A bright flash of red swoops down from between the treetops and scratches the dog bear deeply with ruthless talons. He roars, shaking all of the earthly pillars and shattering the nocturnal calm that is blanketing this wilderness of despair. He tries again to escape from the cage of thorns, but it's no use. There are just too many jaggers. The prickly needles begin to sting, burrowing into his thick hide and scruffy muzzle. He persists in his struggle, despite the agony. I stop running. I feel sorry for my would-be protector. Perhaps I should double back and try to help him somehow, but before I can turn around, a chokecherry root, brittle and sharp, breaches through the dirt underfoot and wraps around my ankle. Its long skeletal branches stretch forth and grasp my arm. Twigs get tangled in my hair. Its trunk scrunches up into a sour expression, and it barks at me. It has ensnared me. These dying trees are very hungry. It stares at my ruby ring covetously.
Come, child. With me, you will no longer be alone.
The slithering voice says as the chokecherry tightens its grip on me. Then a branch snaps, and a great golden sound rises from the stale soil.
She is not alone, nor will she ever be, so long as love endures.
An ancient monarch, roused from a deep slumber, rebukes the woods. The bear comes free of the briars and reels back, perplexed, as a massive hulk breaks through the ground where his mournful tear has fallen. The grappling chokecherry releases me and recoils in shame. A proud golden oak stands tall, swaying as though it is dancing with a sweet breeze that now issues through the forest. Soft songs can be heard, and a patchwork of brightly colored leaves begins to swirl through the magical air all around me. They flutter like waking eyelids, each one a floating vessel, a pontoon carrying a new seed to the planet from some dimension outside of time.
I am known by many names, but you may call me Mother Root.
The great tree laughs gently.
I am my mother's blessing, cast down upon this garden, seed of the pure maiden, planted to protect our world's youngest. Your soul is brand new, a mere sapling that will need to be cared for if you are going to grow up big and strong.
I suddenly feel completely safe. Embraced by her loving words, I am compelled to hug her warm golden trunk. She comforts me and says,
Yes, dear child, I appreciate the affection, and I will care for you if you promise to be true and to watch over one of my children in return. It is time to awaken the Maiden.
Lazily descending through the perpetual cascade of magic leaves and pausing in suspended animation as I reach out to receive it. A sapling, uncurling like a sleeping worm, is placed in my eager little hands. Immediately, the fresh sprout springs up, an arrow of burning jade with the aromatic zest of mint. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice the dog bear is approaching, but upon glimpsing the majestic canopy of glittering foliage, he rolls over onto his back, just like a baby in a crib, captivated by the dangling deciduous mobile. He lies between the mother root's toes and lets his long tongue lazily unfurl from the side of his grinning mouth. Out of the corner of my other eye, I spot a flicker of feathered red. A scary, scaly red bird perches in the shadowed branches of the chokecherry that had tried to capture me. Clutched in its talons is a bejeweled starfish, its 5 appendages arduously squirming about. That frighteningly familiar slithering voice issues from out the cruel beak of the red bird.
I envy you, darling child, to be bestowed with such a fine gift. an eternal tree that will bear you prismatic fruit in cornucopic plenty is an amazing blessing. You may not believe this, but you have given this gift to yourself.
It is a great responsibility,
the mother root replies.
and it should not be taken lightly. You have to temper your flights of fancy and blissful whimsy with care and restraint. You must learn to be mature and to care for others. That is the essence of love. The generation of love is our greatest work. You should learn to think less about yourself and more about others. Personify the virtues of charity and temperance.
Holding the vital sapling, I begin to sprout. The redbird screeches, and its slithering voice becomes even more intense than before.
Such lies! If love really matters, then why is this forest on the brink of death? Why has it been neglected for so very long, enduring unimaginable pain?
The red raptor flexes its savage talons, then it drops the starfish into a bush. The mother root can detect my fear when I hear the slithering voice again.
Be not afraid, child. You are one of the low-hanging fruit of the universal tree. Gone unplucked, you have ripened into being on your own accord. Soon you will be too heavy to hold, and you will drop into the soil of life to grow. Born out of an act of love, you are a pure spectral manifestation. What does a ghost have to fear from a pestering bird?
Oh, I am so much more than a bird,
it says, nervously tapping its toenails along the crooked branch it is perching on.
I can become anything I want to be. I can change form to suit any twist of my wild imagination. You have this power too, darling child. You can do whatever you want to do, and no one can tell you otherwise. You are this place.
The grim voice of the red bird seems somehow less threatening. For the time being, perhaps I've been jumping to my conclusions. I really don't know anything but what I feel. How can I know if my instincts are correct? Should I really be so afraid of this crimson creature? My ruby ring glints under the developing moonlight.
You did not ask to be born, young one.
The red bird continues.
You were not part of the dreamer's plan. You came into being through an act of violence against the entirety of existence. We share this trait in common, you and I. Love had nothing whatsoever to do with us. In fact, love is a vile lie. Life is a curse wrought upon the unwilling and the unknowing by thoughtless, desperate beings, blinded by that delusion called love. It is a pitiful, instinctual devotion to a subversive and murderous tradition. There is no excuse for you, yet here you are. So, you must decide. Will you make the best of your new existence and sow seeds of peace and altruism? Or will you exact your revenge upon the whole of being for condemning you to this sentence of suffering and eventual death. Do not fall victim to the golden lies of this awful arboreal exaggerator. I know the truth. You hold the power. That ring you have is
enough! The Mother Root raises one of her girthy golden boughs, and a wave of light washes the red bird away into the depthless night.
Come forth, all entities who call this forest their sanctuary. Come forth and reclaim your long-forgotten home. A new provider shall be planted this night, bringing boundless fertility and the noble fruits of heaven back to you.
As the Mother Root speaks, legions of tiny glowing beings begin funneling out of the dense undergrowth. Some ride on the backs of beasts, others have luminous wings and go zipping about wildly, exposing the shadowy woods to the purity of their otherworldly lights.
Fairies!
The Mother Root smiles gladly.
They have been asleep for ages. Now that you have arrived, they are awake and ready to guard your green sapling with their lives. So, you should plant it here, in this soft soil bed set between my golden roots. It will reinvigorate this forest. The streams will flow again. The trees will drink deeply and thrive once more.
The dog bear looks over at me bashfully and asks,
So, can we be friends now?
His big droopy eyes melt my heart. How can I say no after his selfless attempt to protect me? The Mother Root brushes my cheek softly with one of her golden branches and says,
Accepting others for who they say they are is an act of peace. Although caution is warranted, you must prepare to trust those who offer you love. This fellow is a kind and gentle being. I've known him since he was a fuzzy cub, and he has your best interests at heart.
The bear looks at me wearily. Okay then. I offer my hand to you in greeting. Hello, Mr. Dog Bear? I don't know my name, but it's nice to make your kindly acquaintance. Magellan, is it?
Ahem. I prefer Sun Bear, actually.
He gives me his big burly paw.
It's nice to finally catch up with you, Nameless.
I think he may be smiling at me, but those big teeth make it hard to tell. I take to planting the brilliant green sapling, and the entire fading forest seems instantly to resuscitate. I can hear some running water nearby. The sound of leaves uncurling is soothing. My sweet sapling flourishes like a torch of green flame. It bends over backward, all creaking with cramps of growth. Then it shoots upright, a verdant spike puncturing the sod. For a moment, everything is still. The new forest takes a deep collective breath, and it begins to hum with a reconstructive mirth. My sapling giggles quietly. The Mother Root speaks to me one last time before going forever silent.
Sleep, child. While you are in this place, you will be safe. So sleep and dream. But what does a dream dream of, I ask you? Why, the dreamer, of course.
Her golden glow starts to gradually vanish into the surrounding foliage. My little sapling becomes the primary source of light besides the moon, offering a luminance akin to a nightlight. My new friend Sun Bear finds a nice cushion of soggy moss, just his size, and slumps down onto it with an exhausted sigh.
Sing to me, O child, so that sleep might close my heavy lids.
The sun bear yawns. Sing? You want me to sing? I am the child here. Aren't you the big grown-up? If my mother asked you to watch over me, shouldn't it be you singing me a lullaby? Perhaps if I had a lute or a drum.
But I can't sing.
He swats at the pain in his nose from the spiny nettles still stuck there. Okay, I'll make you a deal. If you tell me a bedtime story, I will pluck those prickles from your snout. How does that sound?
Yes, I think that is a fair arrangement.
Sunbear nods quite sleepily. I curl up on his fuzzy belly and begin gingerly plucking all the thorns from his muzzle. As I do this, Gleam pulsates and seems to heal his wounds. He speaks out of the side of his mouth so as not to disturb my careful extractions.
Have you ever heard the story about she who sleeps beyond the stars?
He asks me. Being nearly new, I have not heard any stories, though I might remember once you start telling it. I do have all of my mother's memories, you see. That is why I am so smart. Sunbear snorts.
You may think you're smart, but you still have a whole lot to learn, Nameless.
Yes, I suppose that is true. Go ahead then. Tell me the story. I get all comfy cozy. Somewhere nearby, a cricket chirps.
Oh. Well, dreamers, that brings the first chapter of our journey to a close. Until next time, thank you for your receptive presence, and I wish you peace, love, and thunderstorms. Farewell.